I wanted to make a video on effective ways to burn fat beyond simply eating green and exercise more, so I will not discuss cutting calories for overall weight reduction, but instead focus on methods to really turn up the fat burning hormones that will turn you into a fat burning machine. And these methods will more than often bring better results, especially in the long term, and some of them are actually enjoyable. So I divided this video up into 4 parts, which describes what you can do, eat, drink, and also a last category called extra. And you might want to stay around for that extra category because there are some surprising methods that can really rev up the fat burning and get you ripped. So here are the 20 most effective ways to burn fat. So the first thing you should do is high intensity interval training. Forget about those long boring runs in the forest and instead focus on shorter workout with higher intensity. HIIT is one of the, if not the best type of exercise to burn fat. So what you want to do is push yourself to the absolute limit for about 15 to 20 seconds. Short bursts of 100% all-out effort to really spike your heart rate, and then rest until you're able to do it again. Repeat this 10 times or until you can't do it anymore. And the rest periods vary, but usually between 1 to 2 minutes depending on how fit you are. And the beautiful thing with HIIT is that it will only take about 15 to 20 minutes to complete a full workout, and the high intensity will elevate metabolism long after you're done working out, allowing you to burn fat throughout the day. And a Canadian study found that you can burn 9 times more fat during only a 4-minute HIIT session than 30 to 45 minutes on a treadmill. And I suggest rowing machine, sprinting or swimming as HIIT exercises, as it incorporates the whole body and will have crazy effects on fat burning. And the next one is intermittent fasting, and this is not a huge surprise on this channel, and I've talked about the benefits many times. Simply restrict the hours you eat on to typically 8 hours and fast for the remaining 16 hours. And you can take it as far as only eating 1 meal a day, which some top athletes are doing and are reaping the rewards from it, with one major benefit being that it triggers human growth hormone up to 2000% for men, which is just insane, as human growth hormone is responsible for fat burning amongst other things. And I'll link videos on fasting and eating 1 meal a day in the description if you want to know more about it, but it's highly effective for burning fat along with a bunch of other benefits. And the next one is kettlebell swings. And this wonderful workout is much harder to do than most people think it is, and it's even considered by many to be the single best exercise ever. And it looks easy just swinging a kettlebell up and down, but it's actually one of the greater movements to increase heart rate and burn fat. And if you don't have a lot of time, grab a kettlebell and get some swings in and make it into a HIIT session. You can have a great workout in less than 15 minutes. And the next one is compound exercises. And compound exercises are the go-to workouts when you're doing resistance training in the gym and want the overall best results. I'm talking deadlifts, squats, bench press and military press. Exercises which requires you to recruit more than just one muscle group and allows you to lift a lot heavier weights. The heavy weight will trigger high amounts of human growth hormone, and if you combine this with at least a 16-hour fast with 10 grams of BCAA as a pre-workout, you will be sure to burn a lot of fat. And the next one is sport. Another thing you can do is simply take up a sport. Maybe you were good at a sport when you were younger, but for some reason stopped playing, or you just want to try something new. Some friendly competition with a bunch of teammates is always a good way to get some exercise and burn fat. So let's move on to the next section, which is what to eat. And the first thing I would recommend is a ketogenic diet. A ketogenic diet is super effective if you want to burn fat because it allows the body to go straight to fat as energy instead of blood sugar and glucose. So what you want to do is eat the majority of your caloric intake in fat, moderate amounts of protein and no carbs. And it's important to not eat too much protein, as excess protein will be converted into glucose. And the greatest part about a ketogenic diet, besides that it uses stored fat as energy, is the effects it has on the brain. And the brain actually prefers this type of eating, and you will experience an enhanced cognitive function and mental clarity while doing this diet. And the next thing is cinnamon. And a pinch of cinnamon can have a direct impact on blood sugar levels, which is hugely important when you're trying to burn fat off as energy. And cinnamon will also make you feel satisfied and less hungry throughout the day, and I recommend adding a pinch of cinnamon to your coffee in the morning to suppress hunger. And then we have goji berries. And goji berries is one of the absolute best things to consume, not only because it's packed with amino acids, mineral and vitamins, but it's one of them rare foods that can directly impact and boost the production of natural human growth hormone. It has the ability to stimulate the pineal gland to increase it. And pineapples and coconut oil also have similar effects. And then we have dark chocolate, and dark chocolate has actually been used as a health remedy since the 16th century, when the benefits were discovered that it can increase mood and make you feel better. But the real reason it's so effective for weight loss is because it contains huge amount of theobromine, which helps insulin resistance and sensitivity. And insulin is one of the major hormones responsible for burning fat. However, the dark chocolate should be consumed in moderation for best results. So let's have a look at liquids that will trigger your fat burning hormones, and the first one is green tea. And green tea is a great source of antioxidants and nutrients, and on top of that is also excellent for weight loss and burning fat, and a number of studies has proved this. And especially matcha green tea has been proven to elevate metabolism, increase fat oxidation while improving insulin and lowering blood sugar. And it's also brilliant to sip on in a fasted state. The next one is apple cider vinegar. It has a lot of health benefits, and it's a truly fantastic potion when it comes to weight loss. The acidic acid in apple cider vinegar affects blood sugar and insulin by lowering its output and therefore improving insulin resistance. And once again, insulin is affected, making fat burning possible. And this is why it's super effective for weight loss. And I made a longer video on this before, which I'll link in the description if you want to check that out. So the next one is cold water, and drinking ice cold water can actually have a direct impact on your resting metabolic rate, and you're able to burn some extra calories from it. And this is because the body has to work harder to warm that water up once you've consumed it. And drinking 2 full glasses of cold water 30 minutes before eating can help you consume less calories, because it will simply make you feel fuller. So let's talk about sodas and 0-calorie drinks. So switching out regular sodas for 0-calorie ones is a good tip if the only thing you consider is calories in and calories out, but there is more to it. Some studies have shown that diet soda will actually make you more hungry, and it also has some artificial substitutes that is horrible for your overall health. So my tip when it comes to sodas is to first of all try to cut them out completely, but I know that is pretty much impossible, so I suggest not to have any 0-calorie ones, but go for the real deal, but only drink them on your strategically planned cheat day, which I'll go into in a minute. And I don't want to be that guy, but have you considered skipping alcohol for a weekend or two? I feel like I don't need to explain the benefits of this much further, so I'll just stop. However, the next way of burning fat will contradict this one bit, because all types of alcohol doesn't come without benefits, and red wine is one of them rare liquids that's loaded with health benefits. And this is mostly due to a substance called resveratrol that can be found in the red grapes, and research conducted at Harvard Medical School found that it has anti-aging properties due to its ability to keep blood vessels healthy. And resveratrol will also convert white fat into brown fat, which is far more easy to burn, and a glass of red wine to wind down the day can be beneficial for burning fat. But no more than 4 to 6 glasses per week is recommended for best results. Alright, let's get into this last section called Extra, where I want to start out with cold exposure. And cold exposure is one of the greatest ways to burn fat without even exercising. Remember when Michael Phelps was all over the news because of his 12,000 calorie diet? He trains extremely hard, but the secret of burning that many calories is not only in his exercise, but in his environment. He trains for hours in cold water. It's the cold water that makes it possible to burn those extra calories. And this is because there are more ways to get rid of energy than simply raising activity levels or restricting calories. And energy can neither be created nor destroyed, it can only change forms, and thermodynamics is king in changing forms of energy, and cold exposure allows you to get rid of fat in a ridiculously high pace. And I made a full video on this topic if you want to check it out, but just know it's highly effective. So the next thing is plan your cheat days, and having one cheat day a week or every 2 weeks where you just pull the plugs and feast and eat whatever you can be very effective for weight loss. It's what you do consistently that counts, and eating bad one day of the week will not make you fat, just like eating healthy one day of the week will not make you fit. And it's a whole lot easier to skip the donut on the Wednesday when you know you can have 12 of them on the Friday. And this is also where you drink sodas until you're sick of them and don't crave them until the next cheat day. And then you need to get more sleep. A lot of studies have been made on the subject of sleep and weight loss, and the results are conclusive. More sleep results in higher chances of desired weight. And sleeping less than 7 hours per night can reduce and undo the benefits of dieting, according to research published in the Annals of Internal Medicine. They studied 2 groups on the same diet and exercise routine, and the only difference was the amount of sleep they got. They discovered that sleeping more than 7 hours a night increased fat burning with over 55% compared to the sleep-deprived group, which is pretty astonishing. And another factor is that your decision making improves when you're fully rested, and you're more likely to stay away from food you know is bad for you. So let's talk about fat burners and green tea extract. And fat burners are a controversial subject where some say it works and some say it's plain bullshit. My recommendations are always science-based, and I wouldn't suggest something that isn't backed by studies. And there are a lot of studies that actually prove an increase in fat burning when green tea extract or green coffee bean extract is consumed. So when you're looking to buy fat burners, you want to make sure they have at least one of these two. And even though you can lose weight without exercising taking these pills, I recommend taking them to enhance fat burning to an existing workout routine. And T-Rex Extreme Fat Burner or Old School Labs Vintage Burn are good options because of their ingredients, and I'll link these below if you want to check them out. And the last tip is to keep track of what you eat. I highly recommend simply tracking everything you eat, at least for a week. It will make you aware of how much you eat and what the food actually contains, which can be surprising sometimes. And one of the best apps for this is MyFitnessPal, and you can simply scan the barcode or type in what you eat and the food will appear and tell both macro and micronutrients as well as how many calories it contains. And it's super easy to use and it's free to download. And lastly, I included a little bonus segment if you want to burn more fat during the day without really thinking about it. So this is my Kaizen approach to getting rid of calories. Walk or ride a bike instead of taking the car everywhere if possible. If you do take the car, park it further away to get some extra steps in, and skip the elevator and take the stairs. So there you have it, guys, the most effective ways to burn fat. And I don't know about you, but eating chocolate, drinking wine and sleeping more is, at least for me, pretty enjoyable ways to do so. Combine some of these methods and you will become a fat burning machine in no time. I'll also leave links to the references if you want to read into it yourself. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.